can either introduce yourself in the chat, which if you need to find the chat, usually if it's not down there on the little menu screen, you can hit the 3 little buttons where it says, and then it'll say more. And one of the options will probably be chat. And you can introduce yourself, say hi. Feel free to unmute yourself for a couple minutes if you want to say hi to anybody you know on the call. Once again, if you're not sure, if you're just seeing me and just seeing this screen, there are usually some options in one of the corners of your Zoom app. And one of the options is gallery view or speaker view. If you keep it on speaker view, it'll probably be mostly me, which, you know, is fine. But if you want to see gallery view to see who else is here, it's like a little array of 9 squares, and you can click that and it'll show you who else is on the call. And then you can say hi, whatever you want to do. But right now we're just introducing ourselves. My oven is preheated to 350. If you want to preheat your oven, you can. But you might not need to yet because you have to let your dough chill a little bit. So it's okay. Rachel's saying hi. Rachel's my assistant today, my daughter Rachel.
Hi.
Hi. And Andy is on the call in the kitchen too. So if we echo a little bit with our sound, apologies. We're going to try. He's my co-MC on the event and my Hamantaschen eater. So I'm usually going to get started with this lovely thing. Let's see, 12:03. How many we have? We were supposed to have like 15 or 16 people, hopefully. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Alana. I see you over there.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
I was thinking we should have all dressed up in forum costumes, but I think it's a little too much. Maybe not. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. All right. So just a reminder, we are going to record this, and I think I am posting this live on Facebook. Hi, Facebook world. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. I already heard Nancy mention about the butter because we don't use Crisco very much. And I said, I never use Crisco except for this recipe. Try butter. Let me know how it goes. I'm curious too. A lot of people use it. The nice thing about the Crisco option, if you have any dairy allergies, this is a totally dairy-free recipe. So that's a lovely concept for a lot of people who have allergies and just don't want to eat dairy. And if you end up veganizing it, if anybody does, I know my friend has and used egg replacer instead of the eggs, then it would be totally plant-based, I suppose. And we will figure that out together. So let me know how it goes. Oh, good. Wendy's here. My name is Lauren Klein. My daughter Rachel is here. I'm totally embarrassing them by putting a couple pictures of them dressed up for Purim through the years. My son Jonah, I think, is in the other room. He'll come and hang out with us in a few minutes. But I was just looking back at some fond memories, and I know this year will be different, of course. But we are excited to celebrate Purim in our own way. And that's our little family. These are old, cute photos.
Very old.
Very old. That's okay. And so a little bit more, my Hamantaschen history, Mom, I'm embarrassing you, but I asked my parents to find some old pictures of us. I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, and my parents are on the call too, Arthur and Phyllis. Hi, guys. And we always grew up making Hamantaschen. My grandma, Ray, who Rachel's named after, always was baking, and my mom, we would bake, and I went to a Jewish day school in Youngstown, and we would make mishloach manot, and sometimes, depending on the weather, we would be delivering them. My friend Samantha actually, Samantha's coming in. We would deliver Hamantaschen. Dad, remember to mute. Dad, remember to mute. There you go. We would go around, we would make Hamantaschen a couple times. My mom admittedly pulled us out of school because my brother Mike was so good at making Hamantaschen. He was just so good with his hands. He would be the folder all the time. But it's a continual tradition. We keep going. You can see little Rachel there baking Hamantaschen at my parents' house with them. And my favorite dressing up as Queen Esther over there on the left with my big fur shawl were ridiculous. So it's a big tradition. I know, Samantha, you just came on the call over there somewhere with your thing off, but I was just saying that we would deliver bags of goodies. And if the weather was great, we got to put them in our basket and drive around on our bike in our neighborhood to pass out mishloach manot. And then sometimes if the weather was like this, we would have to trudge in our boots and go pass them out. But a really just fun tradition, easy tradition not so easy, time consuming, but worth it for sure. So it was really, really fun. So I'm going to kind of go over how to make the Hamantaschen, what I'm going to do, and then we're going to sort of do it. So I'm going to give you kind of an overview, and then we're going to get through. So I use my food processor. No thanks. I use my food processor to make my Hamantaschen because I just think it's easy. I mentioned earlier that I do cut the whole recipe in half because this recipe calls for 6 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar. So it will overwhelm your processor unless you have like one of those monsters. But I will be doing half of the recipe today at a time. I did the other half last night. So I'll be able to show you guys how we roll out and cut everything together. But you're gonna need, this is my Grandma Rachel's juicer because the great thing about this cookie is that we do a lot of orange. I know that the Fairmont Temple recipe they use does not have orange, which is okay. But a lot of the recipes, at least from Youngstown, where I'm from, all of them have orange juice and orange zest in them. It really adds a lovely aromatic flavor. And this is always my first step because it makes my kitchen just smell good right away. So if you have this and you want to start grating your orange, start juicing your thing. And then we're going to get sifting. You're going to need a sifter. If you don't have it, it'll be okay. But I just always recommend when baking, sifting just makes everything smoother and easier. Okay. So we're going to start with this. We're going to zest. We're going to sift. I'm going to stop share. I'm going to stop share and it'll just be me. Hi, everybody. It's good to see so many people. And then we're going to get going. So I'm going to start zesting. And it's so quiet. Hi, guys. So I have a microplane, whatever you might have around. Just go ahead and zest the entire orange. Hi, is that what I look like? That's so interesting. Nancy, I know that your family is always working the Purim Carnival, and I love seeing your girls, and Alyssa and all of those ladies. I miss seeing all their faces when we do the Purim Carnival. They are the sweetest. I love those Canellas. I love all those girls. Alyssa was my madricha when I taught religious school at Fairmont. And now she's like, you know, a legit grown-up. And the girls the twins are too. I think I had the twins when they were in Sunday school when I was teaching religious school at Fairmont, probably 10 years ago. So I am just zesting my whole thing and then cut this baby in half. And it already smells so good. So if you aren't doing this, just do it because it just makes your whole house smell so, so good. I will go. So for the entire recipe, you need a half a cup of juice. And of course, for this part, since I'm halving it, I'm only going to need, 1/4 cup of juice, which sometimes to get that half a cup, and of course, if you have orange juice, I'm gonna just squat down. If you have orange juice, you can absolutely use orange juice instead of doing all of that. What are you showing me?
Oh, you're going there.
Oh, you're doing it from two angles. How fancy. So I'm almost at 1/4 cup. Dad, why are you in the waiting room tonight? So lovely. It smells so good. That's what I always recommend doing first. All right, so put your orange zest and orange things to the side because you don't need them until we start integrating the dry ingredients with the Crisco or butter, if you're going for that route, into the processor. I have already sifted my sugar, 1 cup of sugar in here, 3 cups of flour, and baking powder and the salt. I sifted that all together, so that is also ready. And you can just see, it's just softer looking. It's gentler looking. It takes out all the little lumps that you don't need. And you can put that to the side so you can get that stuff ready. I'll give you a second. Any questions right now in the chat, Andy? Anybody have questions so far? We're good, we're good, we're good. Hi, Ainsley and Wendy. Okay. So the next piece I'm going to get ready is the eggs because that's always fun. Now, let me just share my screen because I know I showed a couple things that I want to speak to real quick on here. So we've done the sifting, we've done the orange. Hopefully your kitchen is smelling good, your hands smell good, everything is going well. And now you're going to get your eggs ready. In the whole recipe, it's 4 eggs and 2 yolks. So I'm having it. So I've got 2 eggs and I already took my yolk out. I don't want to waste anything. So just so you know, that's how that picture right there, that's how I take my yolk out. I just crack it open and I let it run through my fingers and the yolk doesn't run through. If you want to do it any other fancy schmancy way, any way you can, it's fine. But I have it ready and you can save, what I would do is I would save the egg, like I cracked it over another bowl. I have 2 bowls. I took the egg white from the egg and I put that to the side because I can use that later for my egg wash on top of my, for my Hamantaschen, because a lot of times I'm going to show you the difference between what a Hamantaschen that has egg wash on it looks like. That's what we usually do growing up. That was my job because I wasn't good at folding the Hamantaschen like my brother Mike. I had to do the egg wash. And that's always everybody's first job. That's how you get, that's like the low on the totem pole type of job that you have. Let me wash my hands. Now that's ready. Okay. So we've got our eggs ready. We've got our juice ready. We've got our dry ingredients ready. Where are we at? Okay, so we're gonna start with our Crisco and creaming all that up. I'm just gonna give a second. Everybody good so far? All right, I'm not sure if people are doing it at the same time. I know Alina and Andrew are doing it at the same time, but the Browns are there. You're just watching, it's cool. It's cool, this is great. This is so fun. All right, so, my big mama processor. I thought I broke it because I tried, like I said before, I tried to do the entire recipe in one go in my processor. It's not a good idea. Don't make my mistake. Learn from my mistakes. Okay. So I'm going to just turn this off. But thank goodness, just a little plug for Cuisinart. They take a look and keep on ticking. It's fine. It was fine and it's still working just right. So this baby has taken me through many a holiday. If you came on my mandel bread making thing, I also make my dough for mandel bread in here. I make a lot of things in here. My mom, she always makes most things in here, I feel like, before we pull out our giant mixers. So this is what I'm using, the Crisco sticks. We need, for the whole recipe, it calls for 2 cups of it, but this is just 1 cup because we're doing half right now. I'm going to just cut it a little bit, just to kind of cube it and make it smaller so it'll incorporate a little bit easier. And that's where we're gonna start. And that's gonna get loud. Need anything? Oh, thank you, my cameraman. My cameraman, I love it. Thank you, honey. All right, so I'm gonna start, this is how I went. And you can just put that Crisco on your hands for those dry hands you have this winter. It's just lovely. Okay, so I'm just gonna cream this just a little bit to get it started. And then I'm going to put probably about half of this. And I will warn everybody, this dough, it's a very greasy dough. The Crisco makes it nice. It's a very greasy dough. But it's good. I promise you. It's delicious. So it's already coming together. You want to zoom? Let's see. Come close. Come close. Okay. So it's already coming together nicely. Again, I'm just going to kind of, and just a warning, again, things I make mistakes of. I stuck one of my silicone spatulas in my food processor once, and then I had to throw out that whole batch because, of course, there's sharp things in there. So I'm gonna let this combine, And now I'm just going to, while it's going, I'm going to add some liquid. I'm going to add the juice. It's going to be mad at me a little bit. I'm going to add my egg. Still going. Still, it sounds angry, but not as angry as the last time when I did too many cups at once. Taking that orange, getting it in there too. I'm going to turn it off for just a second. I'm not going to put in my whole hand. I'm just going to move some of this around.
And the blade's still very sharp, so you don't want to stick your hand in.
Don't put your hand in your processor. I'm just going to keep going. And what ends up happening, eventually, I have to add more juice. Actually, will you get? I'll be right back. I'm going to get real juice. Do we have real juice? We do. I want it to come together. I'm going to put like another, probably even less than a quarter of just enough to kind of, you know how sometimes your stuff gets, I don't know if you've ever used your processor, but sometimes things get a little bit stuck and you kind of got to keep it going. And if it doesn't, it'll come together. You can do it by hand.
A little liquid will allow, the soften a little bit, so it can actually start getting all that mixing like happening right now.
Yeah. You can see it going.
That extra quarter cup did the trick.
Right, that's the recipe. More if you need it.
That's looking pretty good.
Okay. So here's what your dough looks like. It's nice and smushed together, nice and smooth, very greasy, but it tastes so good and it almost has such a nice crunch afterwards when you bake it. Andy, you can attest to that because he was my taste tester last week.
I like that.
He's always willing to do things. I just dump it out and be very, very careful. Take this out. And lately what I've been noticing, you can see that it's almost like a Play-Doh texture, but because of all that nice Crisco, and it probably is warm, like mine is a little bit warm from all of that processing, all of that friction. And what I like to do, just as a little extra, because it is so greasy, I just put a little bit of flour, extra flour, and work it through before I start. That's how I wash my hands right now. Can you put that back right here?
Okay.
So the dough is made. I want to show you a couple of options of what you can do next, okay? And then Rachel, will you go there's a dough from last night in the fridge in the laundry room. Can you go grab that and get it out? Thank you. So here we go. One of my friends always swears by doing this. I never did it before, but you can either, what I usually do is roll out the dough, or not roll out the dough. Usually I just stick this, and I don't even have to, sometimes I grease a bowl before I put dough in it to keep it from sticking. But guess what? This baby's so greasy because of that Crisco, you don't even need to worry about it. It slides right out. I will cover it with a little bit of saran wrap and put it in the fridge. It definitely needs to be in there at least an hour. Last night I put this in for over an hour, so this needs to get to room temperature. So we need to, how about we swap? Okay, we'll swap a little bit. So, oh no, yeah, that's real. That's really cold. So last night I overdid it and now it's really frozen. So, we're gonna let that come to temperature. Come to room temperature a little bit. Ooh, mama. All right, so my friend though does roll out her dough, and you can do that at this point without the freshly made dough. You could roll it out and stick it, if you're like short for time, it's just a little shortcut. You can stick it on a cookie sheet and then go ahead and stick it in the freezer if you want for just a few minutes, or even in the fridge for 10 minutes. and it'll firm up enough because it's already rolled out thin. It'll firm up enough if you're in a rush. But that's not what we're gonna do. Will you grab a couple of the Hamantaschen that are already done so we can show while we wait for this to come to, oh baby. All right, so let me stop share for just a second. So these are the ones we made today, well, last night. And I just wanna show you the difference. Will you hold this one up? So over here, I don't know if you can see the difference. This one has a little bit of egg wash on it. You can sort of see it's a little bit shinier if that's what you want. That's fine. I don't care, and they taste the same. This is without, obviously it's not as shiny. And this dough, it's the same recipe, but always my first dough, for whatever reason, it's always the greasiest because I haven't put a lot of flour on the surface yet. So I noticed that it's not as pretty, it's a little rough. But as I go on and I keep going, right, that one's pretty cute. Once I kept going, it smoothed out a lot, and I added more flour to the surface. So don't be afraid to flour a little bit more. I think the recipe probably could use another little bit of flour, half cup, maybe quarter of a cup of flour. And then we can get started and going. All right, any questions so far? Good, thumbs up, no questions? Andy's in the chat room waiting for questions. Thumbs up, I'll take it, I'll take it. My hands are super greasy. Yeah, so you're gonna have to touch everything. No. So one thing I kind of accidentally discovered because I tried to do the rolling out prior to the rolling out chill method is that I realized that I should be rolling always with saran wrap. Do you guys ever, like, saran wrap on top of the dough has made it so much better. So yeah, you can. Here comes the camera view. We'll see. Oh, of course, okay. This is all the pressure now, right? This is the pressure. I'm gonna use a little more flour. So again, this is very cold. This is almost too chilled, but we'll see. Maybe it'll come together better. I'm sure my mom would say that's okay. So I am actually going to use the saran wrap that I use on top of this, almost like a barrier to make it roll out smoother. Let's see if that helps. I did last time, and it keeps it together. Don't be afraid. If yours looks very cracky, if your dough looks kind of crackly, either add a little bit more flour and it'll fill in those spots, or try putting a piece of saran wrap or something on top while you're doing it, and it really just makes it smoother. Just really, put that in, please. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. Can you see how it kind of cracks on the edge? That's okay. You just have to go over it again. I'm going to add a little bit of flour to that spot, and then roll it over a little bit. It does that. That's just the nature of this dough. It's pretty darn forgiving. And I don't know the exact measurement for how thin you want to make the dough, but I don't know. Mom, what do you think? Is there a measurement?
You don't want it paper thin. Right.
Maybe a quarter of an inch?
It needs a quarter inch.
A quarter-ish? We've never measured it. You just know what it feels like. You'll know if it feels too thick or thin. Because you don't want it to go crazy. All right. Let's put that to the side.
Okay.
You'll know when you start trying to fold it.
Right. If
it's too thick or thin.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can help. It's like,
I learned something with the saran wrap. I didn't do that yesterday, and it was
it
is much better.
It makes sense.
It does. I'll do it next year.
Good. I don't have a fancy cookie cutter that's a perfect
I know.
But in our house, your mom, you can go back on mute, but I appreciate your help. In our house, we always did like the lid of a Jif peanut butter. That's about the size we're going for. However, there are a lot of people with peanut allergies, so be careful. I'm using like a lid of a jar, like a bell lid. I have little ones too, whatever, but we're just gonna go for big. And it's just like you want to use the little guy, and I'll use the big one. And you just like when you do cookie cuts, like if you do holiday cookies or any other sugar cookies. But again, it's nice and it's a greasy type of cookie, so it cuts really easily. And then, and also like I don't have parchment paper. Usually I would put parchment paper, but again, this is a very greasy cookie. And so it doesn't seem to ever stick. Like I've never had a problem with them sticking. So usually I just grab them off of here. I'll just peel around. And hey, Jonah, I'm gonna need your help to fill. Can you come in the kitchen? You guys can put bets on whether or not Jonah will come in the kitchen and help him. I hope so, because he's really good at this too. All right, you want to start with 6? You want to do some of the little guys?
Yeah, I'll do some more.
These little ones are really cute. I also saw, because everything's online now, I saw somebody who did teeny tiny Hamantaschen cereal.
Oh, that's.
Did you see that? Like teeny tiny.
Oh, so that's a thing, Mom. People are doing that with other things too.
Right? They're making it
like
into
Oreos
cereals.
and pancakes.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give you. Let's head over to the table. Ready?
I'm gonna roll up.
Come here. Are you washing your hands? Good. You're so smart. That's great. Okay.
Mom, I'm gonna roll up some more dough.
Okay. You're gonna roll out dough. I am gonna put some here. And the light is pretty cruddy. You know something? I know what I can do. Hold on 1 second. I have a quick video. I want to show you guys. It was pretty easy to show. Let me show the screen.
Mom, we're just trying that.
It's under, I think I put it over there. So we've rolled out our dough. It's in the fridge. We're taking it out. That is what our circles look like. You can kind of see the size of it. It's not too bad. And one of my biggest tips is not to overfill your dough or your little circle, maybe a teaspoon. If you really fill them up, just like pie or any other, jelly filled or any other filled pastry, it will probably bubble over. And that can be really, really tricky. But check this out. So when you're folding, be gentle. Here's a quick video of me from doing it last time. Let's see if the video works. Tell me if it's working. Ainsley, if it works, let me know.
Check.
Yes, I see you. It's still loading, isn't it? It's going to be loading forever. Unable to play video, error. Okay, well, good thing this is live and I can just do it for you all. I'll just show you all. It's a very gentle, it's almost like a rolling fold. All right, a rolling fold. Here, Andy, you'll have to hold it. See what it looks like here. All right. So I just have some general. You want to come here, Jonah? And you can fill some too. What do you want to put in some of yours? Some chocolate? You want to put some chocolate chips? So see, this happens. It happens. Like it's okay. If it happens and it falls apart, I just ball it back up, throw it with the rest of them and keep rolling it through and maybe add a little bit more flour to it next time and it won't go as bad. But it's okay. I'm going to just put 2 little cherries in. I like cherry. This is like filling that I had from before. A little bit of apricot. I know it's like, I don't do poppy seed. I do not do prune. Last week we did Nutella.
We like sweet things.
Yeah, we like very, very sweet. And in fact, somebody recommended, I watched a video that somebody had, here, tip it forward. I watched a video that somebody had about tips to do anyway. And they said high fructose corn syrupy things are good because it bakes well. And even though it might not be the healthiest choice, it just holds together and its sweetness is better. So I use all 4 of my fingers to kind of roll the sides first and then use your pointer fingers to pinch. I roll the sides and I support the sides, but I use my pointer or middle finger to kind of push together those edges. It's perfect. And then you use your thumbs to bring up the bottom and just really pinch them together. And it might crack a little bit. It might open a little bit. It'll probably be okay. You can, very forgiving dough. You can kind of, again, roll it kind of like a taco, but then bring it together at the top and roll it on the bottom. Oh, I like the little ones. Those are cute.
Mommy, I got some more little ones and some bigger ones.
All right. See, this one's falling apart, but I'm just going to see if I can keep it together anyway. This is what always happens. The first round of dough, when I roll it out, it needs a little bit more. Oh, she took them.
No, I'm trying to get the other one. I don't know. I'm trying to.
For you, here, you want to put, here, let's see you do it. Come here.
I haven't
Oh,
done
you
this in forever.
You haven't done it in forever?
Yeah.
All right, what are you going to put inside? A couple chocolate chips? All right, put it in. This is the most fun of it all. All right, both hands. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle to the top.
Like,
Yeah, and like, yep, and twine. Yes, perfect. And really pinch it on the top. There you go. Another tip that people have done. Oh my God, Mom, do you see? He's good like Mike. He's good with his hand. Oh my gosh, you even closed it all the way. I love it. Beautiful.
So it's the inside that will.
Oh, it'll be a surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
Something else that other people have said is that you can refrigerate the folded ones for just a few minutes, which I think is a really nice thing. I did that with the egg washed version of these ones, and they also had a little more flour in them, so they were holding together more naturally anyway. Oh, no problem. Smush it together. Again, I like the ugly Hamantaschen. I think they're fine. They're Haman's ears, right? They're ears. Or pockets.
The smaller ones are more durable to pick up.
The smaller ones are more durable to pick up. I think they look really cute. Yeah. Okay. So here are Hamantaschen to start with. We are going to egg wash them. Can you do the egg washing? What's that?
The bigger ones.
It's fine. Here, Jonah. So I have my egg white in a bowl from before. And Jonah's just going to paint these guys. Can you paint them just a little?
I'm gonna keep it right there.
Here. And it'll be good.
Okay.
Hit it, Jonah.
Which one did you already do? Yeah, that one. So the smaller ones were more durable to pick up, so we can just. Yeah, it's super greasy.
It's good egg washing. Now let's see what's going on over here.
So we're adding more flour to the dough.
Cause it's.
I wonder if Crisco, since the inception of this beautiful recipe from Temple Willamette in Youngstown, Ohio, since it was used, you want to go for it? If the consistency of Crisco is different, or if there's something different in the Crisco recipe. Go, girl. That's your grandfather's, Andy. Is that somebody in your family's
Recipe?
dough or a roller?
I don't know. It might be Mel's
I think it's your grandfather's. All
from the
right.
bakery.
Wiggle that back. All right, cut them. All right, Jonah, is that good?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get smaller ones because they're more durable.
Okay. That's real thick. That's
Can we throw those in?
We can throw them in.
I'll roll it out more.
You know something though? Here's what, so just so you guys know, when you're going in big batches like this, what used to happen at my mom's house is she'd be rolling and cutting the circles and we'd be at the table filling, folding and brushing them. And as, just like Rachel's doing, as she's cutting the circles done, we would just throw more onto the cookie sheet so that we could, because they don't expand very much like a chocolate chip cookie or anything. They expand a little bit, but you can fit a decent amount of them onto one cookie sheet. And so we will fill these three. Well, this one's already
I have some more.
She has some more. You can start putting them on this one.
Okay.
Well, that one's falling apart. So I'll fill these three and then we'll put them in a few minutes. But
Some more.
when they're finished, so hi. Hi guys. Let me go ahead and show you guys what this will look like next. So when you can freeze them. Actually, we should, if you guys want to. So you're going to bake them for about 10 to 15 minutes at 350. If you're noticing that your dough is really crumbly because it's really greasy, but you're doing it anyway, I have found that it's closer to the 15-minute side, really. It's a little bit longer. maybe because they're greasier, so they take a little longer to bake, but that's fine. Just keep checking them. I like them not super overdone, a little brown on the bottoms. I'll show you these. I've shown you before. These ones, a little tip of brown at the bottom. The bottoms are nice and well done, but not overly so. Just nice, even color. Take them, they come right off of they should come right off of the pan. If you want to fill those ones, Jonah, you can. They should come right off the pan really easy again because of all that lovely Crisco. Look at, I got my little army. Go guys, go. And then you can let them cool and enjoy. So those are the main points of the Hamantaschen making.
I feel like you're making it a reality TV
It's a reality TV show. You're on it. You're on it, Jonah. Anyway, that is pretty much how I do it. That's how we roll. So that's how we fold, right? Literally how we roll, how she rolls, how you roll, right? So we're going to continue making them. I think we should put them in the fridge to kind of firm up.
Okay, I have a couple more.
You have a couple more?
I can make a couple more.
Right. And so every little scrap, just like when you're making sugar cookies or other cutouts, every little scrap afterwards, you put them in a ball, you add a little more flour and you keep rolling and keep going, circle, circle, circle until you can't anymore. So anybody have questions or comments or anything? No, let me see. That's all she wrote. That's all. I have no idea what's going on in the Facebook world if there's something happening over here. But that's it. That's all she wrote. Good? Makes sense? Anybody have questions? Alina, you guys? Any questions? Ainsley, how's it going over there? Is it coming together using the butter? Did it work? Okay, good. I'm glad. And Nancy's going to try it with butter too, and she'll let us know. Find pictures of it and let us know.
How long in the refrigerator to firm up before baking?
I don't know. I think probably like 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes in the fridge. Would it help? I think the video on the internet that I saw said 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll see.
And then how about can you use a mixer instead?
You could use a mixer, probably. I assume so. Sure, why not? As long as you have that good, as long as you have, I would use that, the good baking flat.
Right. Lauren.
Thank you. You're
Lauren,
welcome.
the reason they use Crisco at our temple, it's part.
Right, it's part.
Was it.
You don't have to worry about the kosher stuff. Yeah.
But the butter, there's plenty of recipes with butter.
Lots of recipes with butter.
It'll work.
To me. Makes sense.
Mixer with a knead hook?
Can we?
The knead hook? I wouldn't do, no, I would do the flat, I'm I don't even have it because I got rid of mine. But I need a new one. No, this paddle. This one. I would use this paddle for, do you like that sound effect? That one for making it if you were using it in your mixer. But again, I really feel like it does, I don't know. I think it's easier to clean your processor. So I think it comes together easier in a processor. But that's just me. Anyway, taste testers. All right, Jonah's going to taste test live. You ready? Give it a try. Good? Little crunch?
Oh my God.
So good.
I missed it.
You missed it. Now it's time. I love having the orange. I tried to Google why orange is in Hamantaschen. Anybody know? I think it's just maybe spring smells. I don't know. I have no idea.
It probably balances
Citrus.
it out.
It does balance it out, and it's a really nice cookie. It's really.
And you don't even taste the orange.
It just smells so good. It tastes so good. Right. The orange isn't overpowering, but just very good.
Really tasty.
All right, guys. That's all she wrote. That's all I got. Thank you all for coming. It was so lovely seeing you. Wait.
Let's see. How do you get the recipe?
Oh, I emailed it to you, but I'm going to put the recipe. I can put the recipe in the chat, right? I'll put the recipe in the chat. Is that helpful?
Or we'll email it to you, Susan.
Oh, right. Oh, yes.
I got you.
Put your email in the chat and then I can always, did we record this? Like we were supposed to?
We're recording right
Okay,
now.
good. I just wanted to make sure. So, all right, my friends, I am going to stop my Facebook Live. Thanks for coming. Stop recording.